would you work with this seller? I got a call from a referral today, and it's actually it was two calls. Number one, I got a call from a past client saying, hey, I've got my sister, and I knew that her parents had passed away, and we've already been in discussion with that, but now they have this estate that needs to be liquidated. And she called and said, hey, my sister is the executor of the estate, and I would love for you to talk to her. And of course, I mean, who's going to say no to that? First of all, who's going to say no? So I offered. I said, yeah, no problem. And she sent me her number. The first thing I was told on the phone is that I already know your world and what you do, so why should I not use this flat fee brokerage? And I just said, okay, no problem. Happy to meet you. Happy to chat with you. Here's kind of what I do. What are you looking for? And I never could really get straight answers. And then I just kept getting the same, like, well, my husband knows this broker and that broker and this agent over here, and we sold our house with this person. And I said, that's great. And in the end, I really ended up saying to them, like, I have built my business in the last 13 years on relationships, on my expertise and what I bring to the table, and marketing. Like, those are my specialties. And we've talked a lot about processes, the processes I put in place, the foundations that I have for my processes and for my listings, and how marketing plays into all of the pieces that I do. And so the conversation was not really about, can I help them? The conversation was about, I am calling you because my sister wants me to. I'm doing this out of obligation, and I already know what I'm going to do. I'm just doing this to do my sister a favor. Okay, so I recognize that off the top of things. As we continued our conversation, and I tried to ask some questions about the property, and she kept hounding me saying, like, well, what's your percentage? And I just said, I do have a number that I work towards, but you have multiple properties. And so I'm willing to work with you guys. I'm not an all or nothing company. I really work on relationships. That's how I built my business. I work on marketing. Here's what I add in marketing and in value. And she said, well, every real estate agent says the same. And I finally got to the point, you guys, that I said, you know what? I really appreciate the phone call. I'm not sure that there is a fit here for us to work together. And she goes silent. And I just explained to her that I said, I am doing the best that I can to help understand where you're coming from and what you're looking for. Because as I said, I'm not an all or nothing brokerage. I'm not an all or nothing agent, and I'm not an all or nothing company. But I do know what I bring to the table in marketing. I absolutely know what I bring to the table in the relationship that I'm going to offer you. And I know what I'm going to offer you in this very start, from before we sign our agreement until beyond your property being sold. And that's what referred me to you. That's what was referred to you in me when you picked up the phone. Obviously, I wasn't using my finger and pointing at her because we were on the phone. That would have been extra dramatic and extra fantastic, though, let me tell you. Because I really had to get to a point where I just said, I understand that you think I'm the same as everybody else. And so far, I haven't even been given an opportunity to talk to you about these properties and their uniqueness and the individuality that I want to give them attention to. Some of the properties have tenants in them, and we're going to have to market to different segments of people according to who's living in the home. Those tenants are going to require conversations. And so I'm going to have to also be working not just with you as the seller, but also the tenants who are living in those properties. And we're going to have to take each property individually and look at the case by case scenario. And I just ended the conversation on that note. And I said, I'm happy to talk to you guys further if you have more questions, but at this point, I'm just not sure that there's an opportunity for us to work together. And that's where I left it. I called my client, who I've worked with several times back, and let her know the situation. And I apologized to her profusely because I I truly, truly, truly try to go above and beyond, but I also recognize when my value is not accepted. And I hope you guys know, where is your value and what do you add and bring to the table, and at what threshold are you not willing to continue the conversation. And 45 minutes later, I got a call back and I thought, here we go again. And it was the seller of the estate saying, my brother wants to talk to you because we haven't had an agent turn us down so far. I don't know if I want to even work with them, you guys. Now, before I sound ungrateful, I am not being ungrateful. I really am not, because especially when you've been in this business long enough, you know that you have to know your threshold and you have to be absolutely confident in what you do and how to grow your business and where to grow your business before you just turn anybody down. And this would be a big chunk of properties to be able to sell. And so, yeah, that part is enticing. But as my mind goes through it and I think logistically about what it's going to take and what it's going to require to be able to look at each property individually, no problem, work with what's in place on each property. Most of them are rentals and tenant occupied. Also, no problem. But am I going to do this deal for 1% flat? Not likely. Because a few things. Number one, I know the amount of time it's going to take to sell a property, and the amount of time is on the table as consideration for my time value. Number two, I know my expertise. I know how long I've been in the business. I know how long it takes to sell a property. I know what kind of market we are in right now. I know how to market these properties. I know that I have the pools to be able to market these properties. And then also the only unknown at this point is how workable the sellers of this estate are going to be and how manageable the emotions are going to be, because not only are there the two opinions of the estate holder, the trustee, and then there's a partner trustee as well, but there's also several more siblings that all have a say in this as well. So I just really encourage you, as you are looking at your expertise, as you're looking at your value, as you're looking at what you bring to the table, to be able to know your threshold on these things, because most agents are willing, and that's the vibe that I got. They've talked to several other agents who are all willing to do a 1% flat deal, and they have not looked at this portfolio as a whole. They have not looked at or asked these deeper, harder questions to know what it's going to take to be able to sell these properties and to be able to put time and energy and assistance into these and to put heart and soul into getting these things done. That is what our industry is about. Our industry is about building relationships that matter. It's also about doing a job that matters. And even in this industry, in this market where things are shifting and there's so much uncertainty on the table, there is still massive opportunity. And we need to be talking to the people where there's opportunity, and we need to be sharing the heart and the soul and maintaining that integrity of the industry and the things that we offer and bring to the table. So, what is your threshold? What would you do? What would you say differently? I want to hear your thoughts and comments. I haven't made a decision. We haven't had further conversations yet. And we haven't even talked about if there is room to move forward. It's just, hey, my brother wants to also meet with you and talk with you. And so we're planning and preparing for that appointment and that meeting right now. So to be followed up on and let you guys know. But my challenge to you in this is to know your value. When you know your value, that also comes with knowing your weaknesses. And when you know your weaknesses, you can build those up and you can work on them and you can know what needs to become stronger. You can ask wholeheartedly what are some of these other agents bringing to the table that maybe I have missed or haven't offered yet? That's something that I do want to have the discussion around on the table now that this conversation is going to continue. But that is one of my questions for them is what are these other agents offering to bring to the table? Because if it's only commission, you're right, I'm not the right person for you. If it's heart and soul, I can probably double down on that. So anyway, and drop some of your thoughts and some of your comments below. I would absolutely love to hear it. I hope you're having a great day and working hard.